welcome back to MiniLife podcast with
What is up?
yo co-hosts Scrapyard Shaun and Mini Mike. We just wanted to jump on here real quick. We recorded this several weeks ago. We were just chatting about it. Not that it's irrelevant anymore, but we just wanted to jump on, say hello, and hope that you enjoy this episode. But we just wanted to pop on, say a few words about our lovely sponsor. I like to say partnership, though, don't you?
Yeah, 100%. It's more a partnership than a sponsor.
It's a solid partnership. I'm very happy to collaborate with Mountain Classic. The people over there have been so awesome. If you haven't seen, please go check out Mountain Classic. They're awesome. And we got a sweet little discount code. What is it, Sean?
So if you go to mountainclassic.co.uk and you select any item that you do fancy, in the checkout area, if you type in the code MiniLife10, you will gain a nice 10% discount from our lovely partners over at Mountain. So go check it out. Go show some love. Go follow them on the Instagram as well. I believe their Instagram is just at Mountain Classic. And yeah, get yourself some decent bargains.
I believe so. But the reason that I say partnership is because we've been doing some cool stuff, and Sean has been working really hard and behind the scenes to make these. I love this style, and he's like kind of not going crazy with it, but like going what's the right word?
Variation.
He's pulling inspiration from a lot of different things on these like old advert styles, and what better way to kind of do it with the collaboration and the partnership with Mountain. And it's been really cool. He's made like one with me in my car, one with him in his car, like old punk rock style. You guys might have seen it already if you're watching this episode now or listening. But I think it's just been really cool to watch Sean do that, and outside of just our MiniLife stuff, which is cool. Which also you can go check that out on, what is it? MiniLife37.bigcartel.com. Always links are in the description if you fancy it. If not, I hope you enjoy our content. This podcast is about when Sean went to race support with the Gentleman Motor Racing. Is it team or club? I always mess it up.
Bear with me.
I think it is
the Gentleman's Motor Racing Team.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure it's team, and I absolutely love that logo with the mustache and the checkered flag. So cool.
So cool.
But I think a little birdie told me we should have Kevin on in the next couple episodes here, so stay tuned for that.
It'll be a good episode.
Anything else for the people before we roll this episode?
No, just I'm not going to reiterate too much, but just to let you guys know, it was a chuffing cold day. So yeah.
Awesome.
But otherwise,
guys.
enjoy it.
Enjoy the episode.
Yo, pull those chokes out, get those engine warms, grab a beverage, and grab your favorite snacks, because we are now live on the podcast. I'm joined with my wonderful co-host, Mike. Mike's feeling a little bit under the weather, guys, so I'm taking the lead on this one today. How's it going, Mike? You all good? Apart from the voice?
I got my midnight DJ voice going.
Mr. Smooth.
Smooth operator. You know.
From the sounds of it, you had a pretty busy weekend, didn't you, my man?
Yeah, I got the brown bottle flu. You know what I mean? But I have that DJ voice, so the DJ only, you know what they do.
That's it, yeah.
They play DJ things.
DJ things. Start calling you the Wolfman.
All right, the DJ soundboard's lagging right now, so maybe later in the episode. Well, I'm glad I'm a little bit under the weather. My voice, I've lost it, so it's not great for the audio heads out there. But this is going to be a good episode, though, because we both got some sweet mic. Well, I've had a mic, but my main man here upgraded his mic setup, and just in time, too, because he just went on a sweet rally. It was historic. I'll let you kind of jump into that, but historic rally with the Gentlemen's Motor Racing Club, and we'll have him on the podcast soon. I've been trying to figure that out, so hopefully now we got the in with Shaun going to help him out. So I'm excited to hear this.
Yeah, I got the scoop, guys. So yeah,
Also, we
oh
both have
man,
sweet hats on though.
yeah, we're looking pretty fresh on the pod today.
Yo,
Actually,
this is called the corduroy. That's really hard to say. It's like Worcestershire corduroy cruiser hat. The MiniLife corduroy cruiser hat. This is my new daily driver, dude. Look at this thing. Fire.
man, honestly, the quality on these, I am so chuffed. I've
I love
literally,
it.
it's my go-to hat now,
Love
100%.
it, dude. It's so nice. I love it.
Right?
Look at the color.
It's like it's so 70s, it's unreal,
It's fire, dude. Fire.
mate. We
Nothing
just
looks
need
better in a classic Mini with this.
100%. We just need those like bright yellow aviator style glasses, man, and we'll be, peak retro.
I'm sure I can find
Yeah.
that. We'll probably sell them. We'll sell them. We'll get them engraved with the little 3.7 in the corner.
Hell yeah.
All right,
Right.
brother. I
Should
won't
we
cut
should
you
we
off
jump into
anymore.
this?
Let's roll.
Let's do it. So yeah, I don't know how many of you follow me on actual social media, but as you're probably well aware, if you do follow the MiniLife page, I spent a day rallying and it was absolutely fantastic. As Mike said, with the Gentlemen's Motor Racing team, with Kevin and his lovely co-driver Katrina, I think it's his wife as well. Fantastic
Ooh.
people. Yeah, lucky man. It was absolutely fantastic, man. Honestly, I don't even know where to begin with any of it. There was so much which happened. I guess I don't know what start from the very beginning. I guess really. I mean, it's hard to tell. It's Mike. What about a month ago? I think you messaged me saying, "Hey, man, do you wanna go on a rally experience? Well, I say experience. Do you want to be part of a service crew as a team member?" And I didn't even think of the answer. I literally just immediately messaged you back and just like, hell yeah, just put my name down,
I
do
already
whatever you
knew. I should
can.
have just done it in the first month. I waited for your answer though.
That's it, you mate. Honestly, I was so chuffed, and the fortunate thing as well is it fell on my birthday weekend, so it was the best way to spend any birthday for any petrol head. It was fantastic. So yeah, Mike put my name down forwards. I spoke to Kevin, Katrina, and Dave, who else was on the team, and we saw backwards and forwards for about a month or so with service plans and what the crack is, what Kevin needs doing on the car after each stage. It was really helpful actually. I was so pleased that he was able to send across videos and information and stuff so that I wasn't walking in just like, what the hell am I doing here? So Kevin, if you're listening, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. You're an absolute lifesaver.
Yeah, Kevin is a listener. He often has sent me videos or pictures rather of him watching it in the garage while he's tinkering on the rally mini probably.
Legend. But yeah, no, it was awesome. So okay, before I get into any of this guy here sitting in front of me on the microphone, Mr. Mike himself, I'm not even halfway through my journey on the Friday night to get down to Goodwood for this. And he calls me up and he's like, "Hey, I'm at the wedding. I'm with all my family. I want you to do your best Texan accent." I was like, "Mate, you can't put me on the spot like that. Come on." I'm not going to do it for the pod, all right?
No. I think you should because we all busted up laughing because it's well, first of all, when I feel like British people or I don't know, any European that might have like their country's accent, and I ask them to do an American accent because I find that funny, they always do like a southern drawl type of thing, and
Hell yeah.
so might as well just ask them to do a Texas accent.
Fortunately, I've got family in San Antonio, so it played out quite well, luckily for me. But yeah, no, mate, I had a hell of a journey down to Goodwood after that phone call. It took me about 4 hours to get down. It should have been about 2.5 hours tops.
Oof.
It is, for any of our listeners in the UK, everyone knows what the M25 is like, especially on a Friday afternoon. It was
That
an
damn
absolute
M25.
honestly, mate, I was screwing. I was like, I just want to get there. I've had a day of work. I say a day of work. But yeah, it was cool. So the actual stages were the South Downs Memorial Stage. I think the full title is the Phil Collins Memorial South Downs Stages over at Goodwood. Um, and it was an eye opener, that's for sure. So I turned up at what 6:30 in the morning, 7 o'clock, something like that.
Well, let me ask you this though. You used to be involved in rallying, like you drove rally, no?
No,
Or
never,
like, oh, I
never.
thought you had like a little bit of a auto. What is it? What's it called? What's the autocross in the dirt though? What do you guys do? No,
You mean like yeah, I'm sure it's like autocross or autograss or something like that.
you didn't do
I think
that. No.
no, never, never. I've always, I
Uh,
mean, every petrol head, they've always had that dream of getting into motorsport and being able to do stuff, whether it's competing themselves or actually being part of a team with
right.
it. And not everyone always gets the opportunity. So, when you said about this, I was just like 100% just, sign me up, put me down for it. Um, I've been a big follower of rally for a long time, most of my life, watching VHS
Right.
rallies as a kid, that sort of stuff. So I roughly knew what to expect when I was turning up to the event, but you never quite fully know or you're fully prepared enough for your first ever event or competition event, as part of any member of any team. So it was complete and utter eye opener, that's for sure. And like I said, because Kevin sent me the videos, fortunately for myself, I wasn't overly unaware of what was going on or what needed to be done at any certain point. So fortunately, it played out very well. But yeah, no, we arrived at site at Goodwood for about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I kid you not, that was cold. 2nd of December, like -5, -6, man. I was
Oh,
not ready for that. I had no coffee in me, no caffeine. I had probably 5, 6 hours worth of sleep the night before, mate. I was just like I was ready to throw the towel in first thing in the morning. It was that cold.
wow.
um, but yeah, no, I
Just a
fortunately,
brisk morning at Goodwood.
mate, brisk is an understatement. There was frost on everything. Like I'm sure I
Ooh,
got out of
I've
the car and
seen
I had
those
frost on my
pictures.
beard.
Yeah, that's makes for some great pictures. I know, like I've seen some good weather with the cars in the paddock and stuff like that. It looks so cool.
Mate, honestly, if you ever get the chance to go Goodwood, whether you've been or not, it's such a fantastic venue. It's so nostalgic there. It's crazy. Even if you haven't been born in the 60s or the 70s and seen racing there, you
Yeah,
feel like you've been there all your life. It's such an
yeah.
amazing place. It's
I
well worth
also
going.
I know I mentioned the gentleman's motor racing team, but on Instagram, I believe he has a Facebook. I believe he has a YouTube as well.
He does. I was going to
Um,
plug that right at the end for our listeners if they wanted to follow and support him.
yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna plug the Instagram right now. So if you're listening, you can kind of check out some of his pictures. It's TGMRT, the Gentleman's Motor Racing Team 10W. So go check that on Instagram right now while he's chatting.
yeah, 100%. Go check him out. Go do what you need to do with him and go and give him some support. So yeah, I arrive at site about 6:30, 7 o'clock, freezing my absolute tits off. And I'm wandering around trying to find the team, and I'm just in absolute awe. There is, you name it, anything from like the 19 sort of 70s all the way up until sort of brand new modern day rally cars,
Huh.
and my rally lust is just going wild at this very moment in time. um, it was really cool. They had a really cool layout. So in the pits area, they had all the teams setting up, all the cars coming off the trailers. They had a separate area for tire changes. They had a separate area for refueling. You weren't allowed to refuel in the pits in case there's any fires, so it's contained in a separate area. And then they had the
Yeah.
waiting area, and then the actual track was all the actual stage. It was a really, really cool layout. So not Mike, sorry, Kevin, even sorry, Kevin. He actually messaged me the location of where they were. He dropped me a pin, and I was so thankful because I could have spent an entire day walking around without finding anyone. But yeah, no, I turned up, said hello, said good morning to the guys. Still a little bit unsure what's going on. But their Mark II Mini was sat right there, right under the canopy with all the van and the service area and all the tools. I was just like, yes, this is what life should be like. Every day spent rallying like this would be so cool.
It would be.
Oh mate, honestly, the car that Kevin and Katrina get to drive in, honestly, I was so jealous of it. It's cool as hell, man. They've got fuel cells in the back. It's got all the rally timers on the dashboard. It's just it's fantastic. I
I've
think they got
watched him
downdraft
built it.
Weber.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm,
I've watched him kind of just piece this thing together over the years, and it's really cool. And it's what kind of grassroots motorsports is about, man. It's like
that's it.
drive it, okay, earn a little money, add some more stuff. Because I feel like they recently got the headsets and communication stuff. Like they keep piecing stuff together. It's really cool.
It is a full on rally car though. It's not just like bits and bobs and dribs and drabs here and there. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's a full piece of kit. It's
yeah,
fantastic to
yeah.
see. Excuse me. So yeah, we Kevin sort of runs through a few little things with myself, introduces me to Dave, who's my other service team member, who was an absolutely lovely bloke. Lovely to meet him. He had an absolute wealth of knowledge for minis, which was fantastic. Fortunately, we didn't need too much expertise for the day, thankfully. But yeah, no, the guys were absolutely fantastic, and the car performed absolutely amazing the entirety of the day. So we get the car set up for the first stage. I think our first stage was at like 9:10 in the morning, something like that. So we had about an hour or so just to sort of run through some things, get the car checked over, make sure we had fuel, make sure there was oil, tire pressures were all okay, tire condition was all good. Um, and yeah, it was get the car out, go spectate it, see what it's like on the track. Um, I know we're going to get Kevin on here, and I'm pretty sure he's going to run through some of this from his point of view. But if I remember rightly, first thing in the morning where it was so frosty on the actual stages, he was struggling with braking zones and trying to find,
Mm.
um, if it's going to be too early on the brakes or too late on the brakes, especially on that ice on the floor. It was pretty slippy. There was a few guys, even with the full drive systems, who were still, giving it a good 360-degree sort of spin.
Is this like was it tarmac and gravel kind of combined or what? How
So
did this work? What was the
I
track like?
Yeah, it was weird. I've never seen Goodwood be set up for a rally stage because I know they've got their own gravel stages. I think somewhere else that they use for the Festival of Speed. But
Okay, yeah.
this actual competition was actually on the actual track, but they'd opened up certain areas which came
Mm.
off the track and then back onto the track, and they had a
Oh,
few
cool.
sort of pallets and chicanes made up sort of around as well. Katrina showed me all of the pace notes that they had, which had a map on of the circuit, which was really cool. So sort of 300 yards, six right or a six left or a four left or anything like that, which was really cool to see.
And for those that don't know, can you kind of explain that? I'm not 100% sure because I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong or if you know, like it's like 1 through 6, but 6 could be a really hard right or 6 could be an easy one and one could be hard. Like don't it just depends on how
Yeah,
they want to ride it or
yeah, that's
how
it.
you guys like however it works in your head, I guess.
Yeah, so I think each team does it ever so slightly different, but there is a generic. You'll have the steering wheel, and if you've turned it, I don't know, an inch to 2 inches, that's probably a one. And
Right.
then the further around you go, it'll be higher number or lower the number. I can't remember which way around it is now.
Yeah. Well, I
Um,
feel like I feel like I heard, I don't know, people are probably bashing their heads right now, but I feel like I
Probably,
heard
yeah,
depending, like if I was driving and I'm like, oh, I think in my head 6 is a very difficult turn. So, but some people might, do it the other way and they say
yeah,
6 is an easy turn or whatever. I don't know. I
yeah.
could
I
be
mean,
wrong though.
I think the easiest way of looking at it is the same as a clock. How far you've got to turn a steering wheel to get it to
Oh,
six
see?
o'clock. So I
Yeah.
think I
Okay.
think that's the generic sort of way of doing it. But again, I think
There
every
you
other
go.
team does it slightly different anyway.
Sure. Sure. All right.
But
That
yeah,
makes
no, it was
sense.
it was it was a really cool insight to see sort of Katrina's pace notes, to see the map layout of the actual course and stages. Um, Again, sort of real eye opener with it all, and it was absolute. Honestly, I've no idea where to begin with any of this because there was so much which happened and what was going on around me. Like when we went to spectate, Kevin and Katrina were sat in the waiting or the holding area to line up for the stage start for quite a while because I think there was 52 competitors there.
Wow.
Um, so whilst we were waiting, we've gone up to the actual stages. We've gone and spectated a lot of the other cars going through the chicanes, doing the right hand turns and the left hand turns and the sort of hairpin stuff. Honestly, the guys were just absolutely giving it. I mean, I know it's competition and everyone normally does, but to be that close and to experience cars of that sort of level and pedigree, even at a clubman level, was insane. There was a 306 Maxi who was just giving it the balls all day long. Downshifts, with the dog boxes and whatnot, and the straight cut gears. It was just fantastic.
Oh yeah, but the
Such an
noises,
experience. Oh,
but
mate,
the
honestly.
noises were fantastic.
Mm.
How about this? What you said? How many cars were there? Were there different classes? I'm assuming he's not going against a full blown, rally car from today. Is there
Yeah.
a vintage
So
class that he was in, or what?
I'm not too sure how many classes and what classes there were. Um, but I believe we probably would have been in what would be known as the historic class because there was, like I said, anything from modern day rally cars. So a lot of R5 Fiestas were there. You had a lot of front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, four wheel drive. Again, stuff from like the 60s and the 70s. You had stuff
Mm,
from 80s and 90s all the way up to 2020s. It was really interesting to sort of see it play out like that because we all play the games on rallying, um, but you never get to see it all put together with everything. Sort of seeing a 1960s, 1970s Mini right next to an R5 Fiesta was just so mind warping and bending to me. It was cool to see.
very
So
cool.
yeah, I mean, even when people were warming the cars up, putting them on idle, giving them a little blip, back down to idle. Oh, it was just, my senses were just here, there, and absolutely bloody everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't honestly. I don't know how big rallying is in the United States because I don't hear about
Well,
events like this very often.
I
But
know
it
you
could
guys
just
have got
be
the ARA Championship,
yeah,
the American Rally Association Championship, which has got a huge following thanks
right.
to people like Ken Block, Leah Block,
Travis
Travis
Pastrana.
Pastrana. I think there's a couple of BMXs which are now doing it. I think it's got a big following out there now.
Yeah, yeah, but that's kind of like pro stuff, no, or is there's entry level. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't hear about it very often. I know, um, you know, yeah, I don't know anybody that rallies their classic mini. I know a lot of people have um, race car minis, but that's track stuff. So
Yeah,
this is very interesting to me because I've always loved rallying. I've never really followed it, but anytime I see it on TV, I'm like, oh, this it's just cool. It's like almost this could be controversial, but like it's just the thrill of it. Like those guys are going flat out and around the corner. If you make one move, you're into a side of a tree that's not moving. Like it's not a safe track. Well,
that's it. I mean,
safe. You know what I mean? But
we all know what it's like, putting your foot down in a mini and thinking, damn, I feel absolutely exposed and vulnerable right now. But imagine doing that flat out, 100 or 90, 95 to 100 in a classic mini on a forest stage or something like that. That is absolutely terrifying when you think about it and when you sort of see it and experience it as well. Just incredible that the amount of balls that people have to do it in a classic mini rather than a modern day rally car when you've
yeah,
got a lot more safety features.
they barely fit in the cabin.
Right.
Just
That's
got to have
it.
an extra bucket seat for those bad boys.
That's it.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, well, tell me then, kind of what your role is as kind of like the technical support team, or I know you kind of briefly went over it. Was it only after each stage you had specific tasks that you had to check off?
Yeah, so every time the car came back from stage, We had to make sure tire pressures were all okay. There was still fuel ready enough, full enough to go back for the next stage, or if we needed to take it to the refueling station. Things like checking, general maintenance, checking the oil, making sure the engine's running over absolutely fine, making sure that there's no damage that's going to cause any potential hazards upon the actual stage as well for the other competitors.
Yeah.
Making sure all the glass is absolutely clean and smeary free, so that the driver and co-driver can actually see where they're going on the stage as well. So yeah, every time they came back from a stage, Dave and myself would be hustling like mad for the next sort of 20 minutes, half an hour, just meticulously going through things. There was one point where Kevin came back from a stage and he said, look, I can hear something almost like it was dragging or rubbing, or, something wasn't quite right. So Dave and myself went around the car. We checked all the tires, checked all the wheel wells, made sure there was nothing hanging off underneath, making sure all the nuts and bolts were absolutely tight. Brakes weren't rubbing, the pads were okay, that sort of stuff. And it turned out that Kevin was experiencing his mud flap scraping on the floor as he's going around the corners.
He was giving it the beans. Those mud flaps are real close to the ground too. So
I mean they're pretty much almost dragging, but the only the only way we found that out was sort of later on after the stages. We had an inkling that it was the mud flaps, but we couldn't quite pinpoint it to be that. And I sent some videos in our group chat to Kevin and the team after the day had been done, and one of the videos I sent, you could see the mud flap dragging across the floor.
as we went
And if
around
we
the
had
corner,
noticed that, we could have pinpointed it to that and not worried, throughout the day, really. But, hindsight's a wonderful thing, I guess.
that's hilarious. I love that. That's funny.
But yeah,
So
no, it's. Sorry, go on.
no, I was gonna say. So how many uh now I'm drawing a blank on the word that we were just using. How many
How many stages?
stages? Thank you. I was gonna say.
So I lost count about after six. I think
Oh
that took
wow.
us. Yeah, I think that took us up to what 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the day, something like that. I've got a funny suspicion. I think there was like 9 or 10 stages throughout the day,
Wow. Okay.
which was pretty full on. We stopped for what hour and a half for lunch, um, in between the stages, which was quite nice. But throughout most of the day, when the team or Kevin and Katrina came back from each stage, I think we had about, I don't know, half an hour, 40 minutes tops, to get the car ready and out for the next stage. By the time we'd finished service, um, and we had a little sort of talk and sort of a recollected of each other, and see where we're at. Kevin and Katrina were getting their fire guard stuff on, the helmets back on, and getting the comms all set back up and back in the car, and off out they went again. So it was non-stop. The really funny thing is whenever we had downtime, you sort of looked around the pit area at the other teams, and they were all constantly busy. And then whenever we were busy, they had their downtime, and it was
Oh,
it was so bizarre. Dave sort of walked up next to me, and he goes, "It's weird to see how much there is going on all at the same time. Everyone's in their own little bubble, but at the end of the day, they're still there for the same reason. It's a very bizarre concept if you're not used to it, or used to experiencing it, really."
right. Interesting.
Mm.
Yeah, I've never been a part of anything like that, so I would imagine there's a lot to check each stage, and especially like you said, he's hearing a noise. You could go. There's a ton of things that could be wrong.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
the list could be endless by that point. Um, Fortunately, the arms on the back of the Mini on the subframes.
yeah.
We I thought at one point it might have been that, um, because it looked like it had a fresh sort of mark on the arm from the tire.
Oh,
But fortunately, on the inside of the tire, you couldn't see any scrub marks or anything like that. I think it was just a random clean spot on the back of that arm, fortunately. um,
uh,
But no, Dave and I jacked the back of the car up. We double checked everything, and yeah, fortunately, it was just the mudguard scraping against the floor, which was very lucky. Kevin did, however, have a little bit of a moment very, very early on during the day. Again, if some of you were viewing the social media stories on Instagram, you would have seen Kevin hit a pallet. I don't mean to do you
Uh-oh.
dirty on the podcast, Kevin, but it's all part of rallying, isn't it?
Because that pallet came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure they moved it.
Yeah, they moved it. It
Yeah,
was not
that's it.
there on that first stage.
That's it. So yeah, they. I mean, again, it was all down to I think what Kevin was saying. It was all down to his braking distances and not knowing because of the ice. So he was a lot of drivers that day were toying with where the braking distances were. And unfortunately for Kevin, he came away with a little bit of a battle scar. So
Oh no.
yeah, fortunately, however, though, it was just a dent in the front wing, so it's easily repaired. I think Kevin's going to have a go at sort of dabbling at knocking the dent out by hand and getting it all straight out again. So hopefully that should be on a YouTube video that he'll be doing, which would be good to see.
Yeah, I mean it definitely gave it a nice little boo boo. I mean, what are you gonna do? It's a race car. You're gonna pull the wing off and repaint it and put a new one on? No,
Oh, exactly.
yeah, it's not terrible. I mean, you could get in there easily with that wheel well and just, pop it out and
Yeah.
make it look good enough.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the handy thing as well was it didn't affect the light ring, the chrome ring.
Yeah.
It knocked the bumper off the actual, the studs where you put the nut on for the chrome bumpers. It did knock
Yeah.
that, and it did knock the overrider a little bit as well. But it's
Yeah, I see
nothing that
that.
a lot of people, if you do follow rally, cable ties and duct tape are your best friend.
Yeah, right?
100%. So yeah, no, it was just a case of duct tape the light back on. I mean, it wasn't hanging off, but just as a precaution, duct tape around the light ring and cable tie the bumper back on. Hopefully, nothing falls off, and nothing did fall off. So it served its purpose. It was still safe for it to go out on stages, and yeah, it held
Is he
well.
running? Is he, speaking of kind of crashes and things like that, is he running glass lights, glass windshield or windscreen for you
Yeah,
guys? That's all glass?
it's all glass. I was gobsmacked. I was at least expecting sort of plastic lenses on the light covers or something like that, but no, it's all glass. I don't know if that's due to regulations because of the
Well, he's got to
historic.
get that black X like I got. I don't even rally, and I have that. No, I'm just
I mean, I've got it on the Outlaw as well, but yeah.
kidding. Come on, Kevin. What are you doing,
Yeah,
man?
you're letting us down, man. Come on.
Everyone knows you put the black X's on the lights. All right.
Surely. I mean, you want to look good as well, right?
You know how many people at like car meets ask me about that? Like, why is there tape on your lights? I was like, because it's a rally car, idiot.
Yeah, God, surely you should know, right?
Stupid. Don't you
I
see
mean,
that this is a rally car? This is
the
race
problem
car,
is
man.
the problem is with people like myself who do it, we're just absolute posers who want to be rally drivers. That's the
Yes.
problem.
Yep.
I'm not ashamed to admit that.
Nope. It looks cool. Race cars are cool. That's why.
100%.
That's why I painted a damn number on my door because it looks cool. Well,
Exactly.
it might not look cool because I didn't do a great job, but I was after the coolness factor of race car.
100%. It's
Just saying.
everyone knows race cars life, surely.
Yeah, surely.
But yeah, no, it was bloody good. The rally really came alive for myself when it became sort of dusk to night.
Ooh, yeah.
That was when the atmosphere changed and everyone was, on it at that point. Everyone knew the layout of the course, so it was just rely on your pace notes and just give it one last sort of big blast. And it was so cool to see. The pit area was awesome at that point because everybody had all the big rally light pods on the front of the cars.
Oh, yeah.
Which is rallying. When everyone thinks of rally cars, you just immediately think of, Audi Quattros, the 205 T16s with the big rally pod lights on the front.
Giant lights, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And Kevin and Katrina's Mini was no different either. They had such a cool setup which I'm sorry, Kevin, but I am going to take and I'm going to use for my own car at this point. It was so cool. So Kevin and Katrina set up. They had the two little grill pins for that quick release, which was cool anyway. But they've got, instead of the generic extra lights, like the little 7-inch spotlights, they
Right.
actually had LED bars, but they had a singular LED bar in the middle of the grill, and then they had two smaller sort of box-looking ones which stuck out to the side, so that they could see where the turning, where the clipping points were for when they're turning. And god damn, they were bright.
They did their job for sure.
Mate, I helped them. So at the end of one of the services, when we're going out for the night stages, they gave me a little flash with the LED bars, and stupid me was looking directly at it in the pitch black. Honestly, I was sitting there, I was patching all the little black dots in my eyes for bloody ages.
Oh man. That's awesome.
Um,
So how long does a stage last? Like if when it's like boom, all right, Kevin, go. How long does that lap? Is that
so
what is it? Is it called the stage? Is it called a lap? Is it called a what is it
So
called?
it was a bit weird because it wasn't your typical rally stage,
Right.
from point A to point B. This was
Right.
more like point A, and then your point B was basically point A again.
Right. Crossing the
Um,
finish line, I guess.
yeah, to a certain
It was
degree.
a
They had like their start stop positions anyway, but because it was on the circuit, they had 2 laps for each stage basically. Which made things in my mind, it made things a little bit like it's a bit weird. Surely it's you drive from one destination to another, the service team follows you and meets you there. That's what I was expecting.
right.
But it was nice that we didn't have to travel alongside and try and race up to meet them to then do the service. So I feel
Yeah.
very fortunate that I got quite lucky that we didn't have to do that.
Well, how
So
long did that stage last? Lap, I guess, or laps. How
um
long did that take?
after they've been in the holding area and they actually, had the 5 4 3 2 1 and pin it, it wasn't that long, honestly. A couple of minutes and they were back.
Okay. Yeah.
It most cars, most of the time was spent in the holding area waiting for other
Yeah.
competitors to get up to that point of 3 2 1 go.
Right.
Um,
Right. Right.
but
And this is solely judged on time, right?
yes, yeah. So the quicker your time, the better it is, basically. There is time penalties given,
Right.
full starts or if you run over your service time.
Right.
So fortunately, Kevin devised a fantastic idea of having like a whiteboard or a marker board in the pit area for us, which had a giant. I kid you not, this thing was like a 12-inch wheel, a giant 12-inch sort of Rolex looking clock.
Yeah.
And we marked down when the team needed to be out of the service area and then when the team needed to be at the point in the waiting area ready to go, basically. So when we were going through the services, again, checking all the tires, checking the fuel, that sort of stuff, it was a real sort of handy thing to have because we could manage time a lot better and a lot easier. There was a lot of teams which didn't have boards like that I saw. So I don't know how they got about it, if they were just more conscious of time or, yeah.
Interesting.
Mm.
Yeah, I've seen obviously I've watched rally before. I've seen, time penalties and stuff like I think actually there's a couple pretty good like documentaries I think on recently I watched on Travis Pastrana, I think, on one of his and it was super cool to watch, but or even Ken Block had one recently not too long ago, was it?
Yeah, is it Go Fast Can Risk Everything on
Is
YouTube?
that
I
what it
think
was called?
yeah, I believe that's actually up for an award.
I'm not sure if that's the one I'm thinking of, but I definitely did watch that one, which was really cool.
Mm. Yeah,
Because
it's
there
a
was
real eye
obviously
opener.
certain times where they, clipped something, they got to fix it, etc. But you
That's
only have
it.
so much time.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we were joking about in the service area. If we had a drive shaft go and we only had half an hour to get the car out and ready again, it was like at that point, what do you do? Do you just call it a day, boys, or do we try and get it done for the stage? Fortunately we
I
didn't have
think
to
you
get to that
got that.
point, but yeah, you'd have to at least give it a go, surely.
See, this is where it comes in handy not having a Honda swap because you know. No, yeah,
Oh,
man, that's super cool, man. What was your favorite part?
oh, man, honestly,
That's
I
a
don't.
toughie.
Yeah, it really was. There was a moment in the day where I just stood there. We'd done the service, the car had gone out, and I stood in the middle of the pit area with everything and the chaos going on around me, and I was just looking, I just silent looking around, and it was just like, yeah, this is everything I hoped it would be and more. Um, a bit of an embarrassing moment in the day though, rather than a favorite part of the day. I
Uh-oh.
mean, it's still a favorite part of the day, I guess. But again, because it was my birthday weekend, Kevin, Katrina, and Dave and the team, I didn't realize they knew too much that it was my birthday weekend. I think it'd been thrown around loosely, but we finished service for the lunchtime one, and the team were very very helpful by sort of providing lunch as well, which was lovely of them. So thank you for cooking those lovely German sausages, guys.
Ooh.
Um, but yeah, I started to sort of just to give just give the car another sort of check over, check that the fuel cell was okay, it's not leaking fuel from the AN lines, that sort of stuff. And I get a tap on the shoulder, and it's Kevin. Um, and he's only gone and given me a birthday badge and a birthday cake to help celebrate the birthday. So Kevin, Katrina, and
Wow.
Dave, and the rest of the Isle of Wight boys, thank you so very much for that. That was such a moment. As embarrassing as it was, I really did enjoy it.
What's a birthday badge?
So it's just a badge, and it just says "Happy Birthday." And for the rest of the day, I had to wear it on the overalls.
You had to. I mean,
Yeah,
shit.
it's a written rule. It's an unwritten rule, right?
Outside of the Mini,
Hmm.
what was your favorite car there?
Oh man, you can't do that to me. You can't do that to me. There was
There's got to be some cool cars.
mate, honestly, the
All right, we'll
level.
break it. We'll break it up. What was your favorite vintage car versus like more modern car? I know there's probably like
Okay, yeah.
a ton of genres, but
So to put things into perspective, just briefly, Kevin and Katrina's Mini was the only Mini there the entire day. The rest of
wow.
it was things like your Mark II Escorts, your Volkswagen Golf Mark IIs, Vauxhall Novas, Peugeot 106s, that sort of stuff in terms of like the historic stuff. Um, I think for me it was the Opel Manta, um, real sort of nostalgic 70s, 80s Opel Manta, sort of 400 looking with the actual dealership team livery on, and it was so cool.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool.
yeah, it's always been one of my dream cars to own, or at least sort of drive and see. So to actually see one in competition was really cool. Couple of little Vauxhall Nova boys with the 1.4 liters, absolutely screaming. They were cool. Everyone loves an Mark II Escort with the 2 liter or 2.5 Millington and BDA lumps. That was really cool to hear. There was a couple of Irish boys there, and they were just giving it the guns all day long. So fair play to them. Um, in terms of the newer stuff, uh, there was an R5 Skoda Fabia there, which really tickled my fancy. Um, it was sort of like a matte black and a matte white sort of livery style on it, and I've always had a bit of a soft spot for those. So to see an actual R5, all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, stripped out, caged, gussets, that sort of stuff, it was just this is a cool car to be able to drive.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure that you're geeking out hard on all that.
Mate, seriously. I mean, you know how much of a rally nut I am, but yeah, no, I
Yeah.
was I was 100% geeking out so badly, and I
Now,
wasn't even ashamed of it.
is there was this just strictly grassroots or were there people that can join that are pro am or what? Is it
So
not sure?
I think I'm not entirely sure. I mean, Kevin and Katrina were able to sort of fill us in with more information with this, but I believe you will still have to have a a you sort of rally license, whether it's I don't know Group
Right.
B, Group A license, Group B license, whatever it is, to be able to enter that competition because it's still MSA events. Um, so you've still got to follow the rules of the regulations and whatnot with it. So it still
Right.
be classed as that. But I think it was a clubman level. Um, yeah, it's just
Awesome.
yeah. I mean, we'll have to ask Kevin and Katrina when we get them on the podcast, which we are trying to get on. It's just we're trying to find the right time and the right date for Kevin to jump on board.
Yep, I've said that many times. It's very difficult to schedule, especially with time zones, people's
Mm,
work, etc. So, maybe I could do it after work one day, but then it's in the middle of the night for you guys, or
that's it.
so
That's
it's
it. I mean, if it's a Friday night, we'll be able to sort it out. No problem. We've got the
yeah,
weekend then, haven't we?
we'll figure it. We'll figure it out. We'll figure
Yeah.
it out.
But
That's
no, honestly,
awesome, man. I'm super happy that you got to go.
no, I
I saw
appreciate
him. Yeah, I saw him post that, and I was like, oh yeah, Shaun for sure. So
it. No, honestly,
having no idea how the distance of anything, I was just like, yeah, just you can
man,
make that.
even if it was a 12-hour journey, I would have still made the journey to just go and do it.
Yeah,
It's been a life dream to go off and experience a rally day like that.
it's
So I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
it was like what you said though. It's when you're standing there just taking it all in, that's when you know something's cool or you're in the right spot.
Yeah,
That feeling, not having to be on your phone or connected to
exactly.
anything and you're just enjoying yourself. You're out there. It's a tough one too because you want to like take pictures, and it's so easy to now with our phones take pictures to remember it or videos because it's just like fun. But something about putting your phone away and just taking in the moment. Uh,
100%.
love that. I
Yeah,
absolutely love that.
it's one of those things. You know, you've got to stand back, take a deep breath, and just like you say, take everything in and take every opportunity that you possibly can as well. Opportunities are very sort of far and few between in life. So when you do get an opportunity like this, you've got to take it with both hands.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think I hope this is a stepping stone for us in MiniLife and trying to get involved more in the automotive scene, racing. I've said a million times I want to try to, do some sort of racing. I don't know if I'll be able to, but something. But going to these events at least and experience them, whether we're helping out a team
That's it.
or being there as media and coming back and doing a podcast like this. I think a lot of our listeners, they love minis, but they love cars and they love vintage racing and things like that. So I'm super happy that you got to go and experience this, and hopefully we can kind of segue this into more events in 2024.
Definitely, man. I mean, it's all about exposure, isn't it? You know, teams need support at the end of the day, whether you're a clubbing level or if you're full-time professional level. Everyone still needs support regardless. So if anyone is listening and they do want us to be giving you guys a hand, even if it's just making a damn cup of tea on an event, you know, Mike and
I
I
don't know.
would
I
be
don't know how to
happy.
do that though.
Oh, come on, Mike. Surely.
I drink coffee over here.
Coffee.
Coffee.
But no,
Well, at
if
this point,
anyone,
I've pretty much changed everything on my my classic mini, so I'm good
that's
at
it.
washing windshields.
Exactly. But it's all part of being the same. You know, it's at the end of the day, the driver's got to see, the co-driver's got to know where exactly they are on the track or the stage or course or whatever. So, you know, it's the smallest of things that matter in a team. That those tiny little bits of details that everyone sort of oversights or oversees that doesn't really sort of think about. It all plays within that role.
Yeah,
So
be sweet. Just kind of maybe I'll talk to you off air about this. I had a little ping moment, a little light bulb moment. I mean, we'll chat about it later. So,
I look forward to it.
anything else for the people? Definitely go check out the Gentleman's Motor Racing Team Instagram, probably Facebook,
Yes.
YouTube. The
I,
Gentleman's Motor Racing
if
Team.
sorry, Mike. If anyone does want to help support Kevin and Katrina and the team, they do take donations, whether it's a pound, £5, £10.
Yep.
Every little bit helps to help them get towards their end goal of, you know, as any motorsporterist wants to go professional and full time. So it will go towards things like seats
It
and
does go
comms,
towards the
and
car.
it's such a
Yeah.
good, you know, good donation to put in for the team, and they deserve it. They work so bloody hard for it as well.
Yeah, yeah. That's like I said. I've been following them on obviously Instagram and YouTube for a while, and I do remember they'll be like, "Hey, thank you," and they list all the people. You just
That's
bought
it.
us the communication system or
That's it. Well,
new seat or whatever it is.
I
Light
was
bar.
I was actually chatting to Ian over in Ireland, Cooper S Traveller, that we've had on
Yep.
previous episodes, and he was saying he's put in a donation to help buy Katrina's co-driver seat. And I was looking at the car during the event, and they've actually, in stitching, got the list of people who have donated towards that seat,
Oh, cool.
which was really cool. And then on the side of the car, they had a fire extinguisher with a list of names that people helped to
Yeah.
donate for the extinguisher. So if you do want your name on the car, which who doesn't?
Yeah, you're an
Um,
official sponsor of the
that's
car.
it, exactly. So go be a sponsorship, go help the team out, go give them the support and the love that they need, because they are absolutely fantastic people and they deserve it.
100%. 100%.
Right, it sounds like your voice is going, Mike.
I know it's almost gone, so maybe we'll wrap this up.
Shall we call this a day? Yeah.
All right, guys, go follow MiniLife.37 on Instagram. Hit the, I think it's follow on Spotify. Most people listen on Spotify. Whatever platform you're listening on, click the follow button for us. Leave us a 5-star review if you think we're worthy. If not, then just don't review. But I think we have like almost 30 5-star reviews right now. So
Damn,
we're
we're
doing
doing well.
something right.
Must be. Thank you very much, everyone.
All right, appreciate you guys, and go grab a corduroy Worcestershire cruiser hat, and I will catch you guys on the next one.
See you later, guys. Cheers.